guys, welcome back to Agrarian Skies 2. I'm Brim, he's Grum, and this is episode 15. Now, what are we going to do today? Well, we are going to continue working on Botania. Now, at the end of our last episode, and excuse me, I am fighting just a little bit of a head cold today, so I'm sure I sound a little more nasally than normal. I'm sure I sound a little more nasally than normal, and I apologize for that, but if I don't shoot video now, you're not going to see videos next week. So if those of you who have seen my videos in the past, you know that I primarily shoot video on the weekend, and then I release that video throughout the week. So it's a weekend. It's actually a beautiful Saturday here. I've actually got the doors open, so we may hear a little background traffic. Got the doors open. It's just absolutely gorgeous here. So anyway, we are working on Botania stuff. Now, at the end of our last episode, we were working on our seeds. We were going to get them all up to 10-10-10s. I have done that at this point. It took probably 2.5 hours to get these, to get all 16 colors up to 10-10-10s. But if we come through and harvest, we will see that out of 4 whites, we get 4 white flowers, we get 16 white petals. So I have also taken and made, I think we had 2 pure daisies the last time we were together. We now have 6, and there's a reason, and that is because it makes it real convenient for getting significant amounts of material at a time. And you'll see that there are 2 blocks up here. These are reference blocks, so I use them for the exchanger, because the fastest way to harvest and reset this is to just come up and use the resident exchanger, set it for, in this case, stone. We'll see that I have 134 stone in my inventory, and then I can pop it. And I missed the end, apparently. And suddenly I've got another 48 living rock in my inventory, which is very convenient. And I've done that a couple times for both wood and, it looks like I've actually done it more for living rock than I've done it for living wood. So while we're talking about what we're going to do today, let me run down here and grab a couple of stacks of living wood, although there are regular wood. There may have been, probably used spruce just because we got so much of it. There was probably some spruce in there. I'm sure I'll see it on the video when I go back and review. So which one of these have we been pulling out of? This one? We'll just grab, matter of fact, I think there were like 2.5 stacks in there. Maybe we'll just grab it all. Yeah. Okay, so at the end of the episode, we talked about the fact that everything in, you know what we also need to grab? Hey, look, there's very little in the way of crafting grid over here today. Yay, no crafting. Well, okay, very little crafting. It's Minecraft. We always have, there's always some crafting to be done, right? So let's plop these in the chest over here. And this stuff is just, I moved the seed analyzer up here to make it real convenient to check 10-10-10s. I could have done those the same way as we did the original seeds, which was just to keep stacking them until they all stacked again, and then stack 6 or 8 of them. But we only really needed 4 seeds of each color, so it didn't make sense to continue all that extra breeding. And since we now have a seed analyzer, it was very convenient to just go ahead and bring it up here and check those. Now I do see that that living rock has finished, so let's grab a couple of stacks here. We'll come over and switch. Sorry about that again. Come over here and switch over to spruce. Center this up and blam. Replace that with spruce, and we'll get some more living wood started. All right, now in there. Now, so let's take a look at Botania stuff. Where is our book? If we take a look, oh, we've got 2 quests. They're probably Botania quests because we kind of ended in the middle of Botania. Yep, 2 quests. So they wanted us to make the Petal Apothecary. We did that, and they're going to give us 16 mystical blues. Yep, that'll work. And they wanted us to make pure daisy, which we've done. They'll give us a wand of the forest. Very convenient. We are going to take the reward back. Now, what's next? So conveniently, what's next is exactly what we wanted to do today. Let's see here. We're going to need kind of hang on to him. I'll tell you what I do need to do, probably. I've got a chest down here that has got all of... Where is my dolly? Right there. Let's go take a look. It's got all the petals we made in it, and it's actually pretty full. I was thinking I could get away with just taking 1/2 of this, but I don't really see me being able to get away with just taking 1/2 of that. So let me go ahead and haul this up here. I don't know that we'll ever need petals and such down there, so it only makes sense to have them up here where we're doing it only makes sense to have it up here where we're doing the Botania stuff. So we'll just move those real quick. And let's see what are the chances that it's set down correctly. Of course not. It's set down on the wrong side like that. Now, all right, cool. So we'll go ahead and toss these petals in there, and we just got some blue petals, and we brought up a crafting grid with us because we will have some crafting that has to be done. I was working on finding a way to automatically fill the Petal Apothecary with water, so that's the reason the aqueous accumulator is setting here. I really, the well is nice, but the fact that the bucket jumps out of my hand when I go to fill it up just drives me crazy. So let's go ahead and open our reward bag, see if we actually get anything cool. Spider Slayer. Wow, wow. Backstabbing, repair, looting, knockback, bane of arthropods, and sharpness 5. That's on a sword. That is a lot of bonuses. That's probably the best melee weapon we've got. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That was simply a little reward. Okay, so if we look at our book, they want us to make solar power. They want us to make day blooms, and they want us to make a mana pool, mana pump. Actually, they want us to make a mana pool and a mana spreader. And is this just one day bloom? So let's take a look at our Lexica Botanica here, and we will see that where's the mana manipulation, mana generating flora. If we look at day bloom, the day bloom is really the bottom end of there it is. It's kind of the bottom end of the possibilities for mana generation. This is the most simplistic of methods for doing that. But what we'll see is we need 2 yellow petals, 2 yellow, a light blue, and an orange. And I will tell you now that one of those little flowers is going to really accomplish nothing. So we'll make more than one for sure. And then it was orange. The good news is these are NEI these days. What is it? Day bloom. So we need orange and light blue. Now we need twice as many yellows as we need oranges and light blues. So we took 4 plants worth of oranges, so we'll grab 2. And that's the cyan. Where is the light blue? Is this the light blue? The light blue. There we go. Alright, so what we really need is to get 4 open slots here. So we need a blue, an orange, a yellow, and then we'll need a seed to go with it. And we will have to have water to refill. And I know that bucket's going to jump around in my hand. So let's shift all of these down 1. That way at least it'll just jump back and forth 1 slot. Alright, so if I've looked at that correctly, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a seed. And there's a day bloom. And then we can refill. We'll get the day bloom out of our inventory so that I can reach the water. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Huh, how did that stay full? How did that get filled back up? Strange. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just going to repeat this little process over and over and over. And now there's the day blooms are, I think that quest was actually titled Solar Power. Obviously they will only generate, being a day bloom, will only generate mana during the day when the sun is out, just like a solar panel. And there is a nighttime equivalent. I generally never build it. I generally only use the day blooms to get to a point where I can build far superior mana generation. And then I skip the whole day bloom, night bloom thing pretty quickly and move on. Now, we now have 8 of these. If we'll take a look at our quest, we should get a couple more, so we'll claim those. And then we'll go ahead and build the mana pool and the mana spreader. So let's take a look. Mana pool and probably spreader will work for us. So here's the mana spreader. That's going to be living wood, some gold, and a petal. And then this is just, we'll go ahead and get him built. This is just living stone. Hey, come back here. Come back here. So we'll go ahead and get that built. Now, this is a diluted mana pool. Let's see if the quest book actually wanted a full mana pool. It does. So there's no reason to ever build only a single mana pool, because a single mana pool will always be the diluted variant, and the only way to build the higher end variant is to take a diluted mana pool and toss it inside a diluted mana pool or a regular mana pool to convert it. So you always end up having to build 2. Now, probably what I need to do, I'm going to need Podzol. Really going to need 2 stacks of Podzol, or we need to move. We don't have to have 6 if we moved it over there. Let's take a look at, if we look at Pure Daisy. And this will be one of the things we head after pretty quickly. You'll see that here's our Pure Daisy, but here is a floating version of the Pure Daisy. Now, obviously we're getting all of our petals from these seeds over here, and if we break these seeds, let's go ahead and break these out, what we get back are some petals, a seed, and our crop sticks. We do not get back the actual flower. Okay, and that's important because if we look at the floating variant, we'll see that we have to have the actual Pure Daisy attached to a floating flower of some sort. Now, to make the floating flower, you put a pasture seed, some dirt, and an actual flower, a glimmering version of the flower, which is just a flower plus 2 glowstone, yeah. But it requires that we have the actual flower. which means at some point we have to figure out a way to get the actual flowers. If we take a look at the Lexica Botanica, we will see, let's go over to, we need to go back out here and go back up one to Functional Flora, and there's one here called, what's he called? The Jaded the Jaded something or other. What it will do is it will take mana from a mana pool near it and then spawn and spam flowers in a radius around it. And I think it's about a 4x radius, so if it were sitting in the middle of one of these, it would fill up the area around it with flowers. That would give us actual flowers to create. We can either turn them into petals, although we've pretty well got our petal needs under control, or use them to make things that required the flowers instead of just the petals. So I am going to break right here. I should have had some podzol made. I didn't think about the fact. And the reason that I like these, for starters, and probably the big thing about them, is that they can be put on top of anything. So I could take one of the floating flowers and put it right here on top of this cobblestone. And it only takes up a single block. Whereas one of these technically takes up 2 blocks. You've got the daisy in one block, and then beneath it you must have the block that it's planted on. So I can't put anything else beneath that. So, and there's something cool we can do when we've got those. When we've got several of the pure daisies, we can turn these into a tower going up instead of a tower lane, or instead of a bed lane flat like this. We can actually put one floating daisy directly on top of another, directly on top of another, etc., and then we end up with this 6x structure, kind of like a silo coming up in the air, which I really like. And with the exchanger, I can just fly it to the sides of it and go slap, 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 and suddenly it's all replaced, and we have that doing. It greatly reduces the footprint of our living wood and living stone production. Okay, so I'm going to break right here. I'm going to grab some more podzol. I'll either move the daisies, which is probably what I'll do, because then I'll have to have 6 podzols. I may move the daisies over here, because I can put the wood and stone on top of anything, and that will free up this podzol here. So I'll do that, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, guys, welcome back. I decided to go ahead and replace these two with podzol. In looking at this, we're actually going to have quite a bit of generating flora in the near future. And actually, looking at the layout, I have already been told that I will probably need at least 2 pads for blood magic, and I may need 2 pads for thumbcraft. So I might as well go ahead and give 2 pads to Botania as well. Looking at it, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be built. So 1 pad may not hold it all. Although I guess I've gotten to where I call these barges instead of pads. I really like that concept. So we'll select this and we jump into the middle. If we look at the brim right about there, I missed it by 1 row, I'm pretty sure. And then come over here and do this one. There we go. So that will take care of having plenty of room to do this. You know what I didn't do? I didn't grab gold. I needed gold. We only need 1, but we might as well get 3 or 4. We will end up building way more than 1 spreader. So we'll toss these up here. Let's go ahead and get the spreader built. We don't want 4 just yet. I guess we can use that for crafting. Especially since that's where the living wood's at. That's convenient. Might have been more convenient. I like having things symmetrical. You guys know me well enough to know that. Although this is a bit of a mess again already. So I put one of the chests on one side and one of the chests on the other side, but that's a bit inconvenient. I guess I could find a place to put... Well, no, it'll still only hook to 1 inventory. All right, anyway, let's not get distracted. Now, if we look at our Lexica Botanica and look at the generating flora again, and come look at the day bloom, we will see that they say that this is a good pattern and this is a bad pattern. And if we put them down, we will see, if I put 2 next to each other, they should have a particle effect between them. What that particle effect tells us is that they are interfering with each other, and they are not producing the way they should. And the way you handle that is that they must always have... The 4 spaces around them must be open. There must not be another day bloom there, or else they cannibalize each other. So let's see, we've got 5 more, and we just happen to have... So let's just do... We'll just keep repeating this, headed off. Oh, I really need 1 more, because that will... I guess we could come here, and then bring this one down. So, now... Yeah, that works. It's still unbalanced, but at least it's symmetrically unbalanced. Here is our mana pool, and we will drop it... back over here somewhere between these 2 pads, I suppose, like that. Now you'll see that I immediately get a pop-up because I've got a mana pool. I had 2, so I have 1 in my hand, and there's a big red X saying, hey, you don't have enough mana in here. If you toss that in, there's nothing I can do with it. So we need to fix that. Now you'll notice that we now have a mana pool, and we now have flowers that are generating mana. If we right-click on it, as a matter of fact, they're completely filled up with mana already, but their mana is not making it to the mana pool. Well, that's because they need some way to get the mana out of the plants and into the pool, and we do that with a mana spreader. Now, where is the center of this? Right here. Should be where the torch is, yeah. And we do that with a mana spreader. And we can put the mana spreader, if we grab our wand, the Wand of the Forest is the base tool, like a wrench, for Botania. And we can connect this. We tell him here, we shift right click, and then click over, or shift right click over here? No. Shift right click, and then right click. Shift left click? No, it's got to be a shift click. No, that changes the... How do we get this thing into... bind mode. Okay, so if we shift right click and we're not on anything, you see it changes from bind mode to function mode. So we need it in bind mode right now. We need to bind this to this. There we go. And now we see that it's shooting mana over here, or would be if it were gaining mana. Right now what we will see is that the day blooms, they show that little red X down there saying, I don't see, when I was planted, I did not see a mana spreader, so I did not connect to a mana spreader. Now we could just break all these guys and replant them, or now that we're in bind mode, we can just bind them all to the mana spreader, just like we bound the mana spreader to the mana pool over there. Bound, not bound. Which means this one is not bound. This one is not bound. And this one is not bound. There we go. Now, if we just watch for a moment, let's switch this back over to function mode. We'll see that this is, oh, matter of fact, it just fired off. Yay! Now we want to immediately, because we're going to break this one, we want to immediately, get back up here. We want to immediately turn this into the higher tiered mana pool, because we had to break it to replace it, and we don't want to break it with a bunch of mana in it, because then we would lose that mana. And this is probably enough mana to do the other one. Here's the other diluted mana pool. We'll toss it. No, it's not quite ready. Maybe it needs 2 bursts. But we'll end up with another mana pool right here. And I may have to find some way, maybe put the lights on either side, because this mana pool is not centered. See, now it is. There we go. Now we have 2 mana pools. We can drop that down there. And so, the long and short is that we use the mana spreaders, and there's another one, mana distributor? I think it's called a mana distributor. Yeah. That we can use. No, not detector. I thought it was a distributor. Mana distributor. Why didn't I just see that? Anyway. And what this will do is, if we shoot mana into it, it will fill up all the pools around it at the same time by evenly distributing the mana between them. So if we had 4 pools, so say we had the distributor sitting here, and we had 4 pools around it, and then instead of shooting from this mana spreader directly into a pool, we were shooting into it, then it would fill up all 4 pools, which will become necessary at some point when we're creating a lot more mana. Now, I'm going to take a cut right here. We've still got about 10 minutes or so, just shy of 10 minutes left in this episode. I'm going to take a cut and let this mana pool fill up a little bit so that we can actually make one of our first trinkets from Botanica, but we need enough mana in there to turn 8 ingots of iron into mana steel. So I'm going to take a break here, let that fill up for a while, and then I'll be back in just a couple of moments. Alright guys, welcome back. So I had forgotten just how horribly slow the day blooms are. If we take a look, it's been probably, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. If we take a look at our mana pool right now, we will see there is a tiny little sliver of blue down there at the end, probably not enough to do even a single... no, not even enough to do a single ingot yet. So, to rely on the day blooms to do this crafting is going to take forever. However, there is, within our reach right now, a different mana producing flower that is within our reach that is much, much more efficient. So if we look at the Endoflame, we'll see that it is just a few petals. We have not made it into any runic magic yet. I'm going to look at this in the NEI because things don't spin when they're in the NEI. We'll see that it is a brown, a red, and a light gray, which we have all of already, and then a brown mana petal and a red mana petal. Now, I have not pulled these petals out yet to see if we've got enough of everything. We're going to kind of cross our fingers and hope that we do. So what we really need is brown. Where's brown? Here is a brown, and I think it was a red, yes. The mana petals are what we're really interested in right now. The red mana petal. Where is red? Here's red. And let's go see, to turn a mystical petal into a mana petal, all we do is drop it into, yes we do. We've got enough to do at least one. So we'll drop one in and then cross our fingers. We've got enough to do the other one. Excellent. So we can put these 2 in here, grab we're going to need 5 total, right? 1, 2, 3. So we need another brown. Here's another red. Another brown. And I believe the last one was nope, let's not guess, let's just do a light gray. Where's light gray? Light gray? And then we do the same thing we've been doing. We're out of water. Of course we're out of water. And that's really the reason I was looking for a way to automatically pump water into this thing. I've not yet found a way. I found a way with some mods that are not part of Agrarian Skies 2, but I haven't found a way to do it in Agrarian Skies 2 yet. So I will, because it's something I want to do. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. And as always, we finish with a seed and bang, 1 Endoflame. So let's drop. Now we can put the Endoflame in the middle of these, and it will not interfere with those. And perhaps the best thing we've got at this point to feed an Endoflame would be a block of coal. Oh, is that it for coal? Oh, mercy. Well, yeah, we're just going to do what we have to do. We'll just take it back up here. So let's turn our coal into blocks of coal. Now, what the Endoflame does is it eats things that can be burned normally, fuel sources. You'll see it gobble that up, and then it will start producing mana. And we will see that this thing shoots mana over pretty frequently while the Endoflame has a fuel source. Yep, you'll see he's not filling up, so he's shooting all of his mana over here. And this one might actually be moving fast enough to see a difference at some point. There was another big blast coming over. It is a much, much more efficient method for creating mana, but now it is an active. Yeah, we've already got more mana in here from that than we made with all the day blooms in half an hour. So, or 15, probably 15 minutes. That's probably gone 15 minutes. You'll still see a bit of a flame effect on the top of it. When the flame effect ends, it has consumed its fuel. It will not consume another fuel as long as it has fuel. So we have to wait for it to empty its fuel, and we don't even have to. We can set up an automated system for doing this with an open bucket and some pressure plates and that sort of thing, where we drop a coal on the ground and make it land on a pressure plate. And as long as it's sitting there on the pressure plate, it shuts the rest of the machine down. Because what will happen is here in a moment, that will run out of fuel, and when it runs out of fuel, even though this is a square away, it will suck it in and use it. Matter of fact, we should be about there already. I'm really kind of surprised it's not picking that up now. Let's go check on our pool. Yep, definitely making some headway. Not going to be fast. Do we have enough to do? Hey, looky there. Our first mana still. Now, we need a total of 8 of these to make the Ring of Magnetization. This ring right here. It's one of my favorite things. Now, the bad news is that it does use up our second ring slot. Which, for now, these are probably a lot of people would choose instead of, if we just look at Botania. There are lots of baubles in Botania, which is one of the reasons I like it so much. Where are our baubles? Here we go. We start into, here's some, now these are lenses. Here we go. So we've got all kinds of things down here. Here's a Band of Mana, which passively generates mana while we're wearing it. The Greater Mana, which produces even more. The Band of Aura. There are lots of things, and here's one of the next things that I normally build. I don't know how important it will be on a map like this where we don't have lots of terrain. The Sojourner Sash increases our movement speed, doubles our jump height, so that instead of jumping from 1 block, we can jump 2 blocks, and it allows us to walk up 1 step of terrain without having to jump. So if we were to run into a block, you just step up on top of it. Really nice when we're out doing in a normal world where we have to deal with terrain changes and that sort of thing, where we're walking around everywhere. Maybe not so much when we're flying everywhere anyway. Anyway, you'll see that there are lots of rings to be had here. There are lots of things to be had here. We may eventually replace our wings with a different type of flight. There is a flight that we can get from Botania right here. Yeah, pretty sure this is the one. Maybe it's the tiara? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's this item right here. But you'll notice that this one is Elementium ingots and Gaia spirits. This is late game for Botania. We do not have access to those sorts of things right now and won't for a while. So, we're moving along. We're going to very quickly. Here's another, matter of fact, we can get 2. So what we couldn't get 1 of in 15 minutes with the day blooms, we've now gotten 3 of. I stuck another bed up here. We've now gotten 3 of with the Endoflame pretty quickly. Guys, I think I'm going to take one more break, one more cut here, and go ahead and let that mana pool fill up for a while so that we can go ahead and build this ring during this episode. I really don't want to not build this ring this episode. So I think we'll do that, and then we'll call that an episode when we're done with that. And next episode, we're probably going to change pace. We still have not unlocked... we still have not unlocked Applied Energistics in the book. Oh, we didn't claim this. There we go. We can claim it now. Redstone control. Brewing. We will want to move into brewing pretty quickly. Let's just click. We still got a quest somewhere to claim. Let's find it real quick. Mob Hunter, maybe? No, not Mob Hunter. Wonder where it's at. It did say we have a quest to claim, right? Did I miss it? 1, 2... Tinkers. What is Tinkers? Oh, we finally got our Mana Steel for the exotic metals, which is actually going to give us a Terra Steel. So way back when we did this whole line of quests, the only thing we were missing was a Mana Steel, and I said when we do Botania, we'll get that pretty quickly. Well, we just did Botania, and we did get it pretty quickly, so we'll go ahead and claim that. We'll take our break. I'll clean up my inventory. I'll grab the stuff we need. I'll make sure that we get the rest of our Mana Steel, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so if 1 Endoflame is good, 4 must be better. Yes, that was the conclusion I came to as well. So I got tired of waiting. To just be real honest, I got tired of waiting. So I made 3 more into flames and toss them down here. And you can see now that we've pretty well got a continuous stream of mana flowing from the mana spreader over to this pool. So that's much better than what we were doing, where we didn't see, with the day blooms, we saw a mana burst every several minutes. Having a continuous stream going over there is very nice, very nice. Okay, so let's look at our ring of magnetization, of ring of magnetization. So we need a lens and 4 mana steel, and then to make the lens we need 4 more mana steel. So we'll just pop this bad boy in there, and then look at this. What do I not have with me? There's the lens, here's the gold, here's the iron. Why didn't you make, well, okay. And then 4 more mana steel to make the ring itself, and boom, the ring of magnetization. Now we should just be able to, we want to put it in the top slot. We don't want that for sure. Just like that. Now, why do I like this ring so much? Well, I am particularly bad about having my inventory full. Yeah, go figure. We've seen that once or twice, right? And when I have my inventory full, and I continue picking up blocks and such, how's my inventory look right now? Not too bad. It is pretty easy for me to end up with items laying on the ground. Conveniently, as long as I don't fly at top speed, I can still move these whole stacks of stuff around, even though my inventory is completely full. Very handy. Now, the other big thing is, like, we have seen that when I harvest the pumpkins, I end up having to go up here and collect, and then come around the other side and collect, and sometimes they fall off and blah, blah, blah. Won't be an issue anymore. The moment I break them, they're going to run right straight from my inventory. I just really love having a full-time magnet on me, and the ring of magnetization is the easiest one to acquire. Now, there are better magnets, and the reason I say that, if I take something in my inventory and I throw it down, the ring of magnetization assumes I wanted to throw that item. Now, if I give it a second, it'll come back to me, but it does not immediately grab a hold of that and pull it back to me. It assumes that if I tossed it, I intended, which means that if I accidentally void one of my tools or something, accidentally throw my crossbow off into the void, it's gone, unless I chase it down until the magnet can catch up with it. Now, that is possible. Oh, this is going to be dangerous. If I inadvertently void this, I can chase it and catch it. Ooh, that was actually pretty risky, but I have to immediately go to chasing, or I'm going to lose it. There are other magnets that don't do that. If we just look at magnet, these magnets here will immediately pick up an item. Whether you toss it down, it fell down, it was created in the world, etc., etc. It'll immediately start pulling it towards you. However, these things are ridiculously difficult without, because each one of them requires, this one, you have to have this stuff, and then to make the next one up, you have to have the one before. You have to have 2 of the ones before, plus this stuff. And then to make the next one up, you have to have 2 of the ones before. So it becomes a exponentially large build as you go up through the levels of the magnets. So to get this last one, so you got 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. You got to have 512 of those things, or maybe 256. Anyway, a ridiculous number is the answer. Plus all these diamonds, all the Eyes of Ender. I think this is even Instone in here. Yeah, Instone and Quartz of Pillars and blocks of gold. These things are ridiculously expensive. They are a better magnet. They do not fill up a bobble slot. They do have to be on your toolbar, and they do have to be powered, but they're a better magnet. There's no doubt about it. However, for the cost of a little bit of mana, 5 pieces of iron, 1 piece of gold, and a glass pane, we have a very efficient, highly functional ring of magnetization that will take care of 99% of our needs. So, all right, guys, I think that's where we're going to call it an episode today. We may do a little more automation type stuff with Botania on our next episode, but I have decided that regardless of whether or not we've unlocked anything for AE in our book, we are moving. Let's just make sure we don't have any quests. We are going to move forward with our applied energistic system. I am really sick and tired of having, I've got to fly over here to get something, to fly over there to get something, to come back over here to get something, to take stuff over here and build. I originally, and you'll have seen when we built this center platform originally, we started immediately using it for storage because we will make our AE system wireless, which means we want the wireless access point at the middle of our base, so that we have to build as few repeaters as possible to be able to reach our entire base. So I had always intended for this to kind of become the storage battle barge, whatever, space barge, if you will. So that's the reason we've not really done anything with it. I intend to put the AE system slap dab in the middle of this bad boy. We are going to start that next time. I don't know how quickly we will be able to get through that. We'll just have to see. And also, it is about time that we built a laser drill. I think at this point we could produce enough electricity to run the laser drill enough. What we would like to do, coming along, I don't know that we actually talked about it, but we're now piping cobble directly into this middle stack, which is where we produce Yellorium. And actually, we've got 22 Yellorium in here right now that we can toss up here. Say, hey, smelt. And we've got some over here. No, we're not. I've already pulled it out. So we're over a stack of Yellorium at this point. Matter of fact, we're at a stack plus 64, and I think we need about 100 to get started with, yeah, I think it's right at 100 to get started with big reactors. And we've also got a bunch of steel. We can build more steel, that's not a problem, although I did just kind of use all of our coal. We can make it with charcoal, but it's only half as efficient with charcoal. We have to have twice as much charcoal powder. Anyway, guys, that's what we're going to call it for an episode this time. Next time, we're going to start looking at storage, and I very much look forward to that. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. All right, guys, just a moment of bonus footage, only because I happened to spot it while we were standing here talking about this. You'll notice that I had holes in the floor, and that should have been the big clue that there was something to show you. You'll notice that the servo for this stack is turned off, and that's because this is where I've been dropping the, the topiary grass. So the reason for the topiary grass was to get the tigerwood saplings. That is a quest requirement. I think I've run 3 or 4 stacks of topiary grass through here. I continue to run topiary grass through here because you get redwood saplings, and you need 49 of these to be able to actually make a redwood. Obviously, I don't have that, and it looks like I've gotten about 1 redwood sapling per stack, so I don't know that I'll continue to do that, although I think at some point it would be really cool to have a redwood growing up out of one of these platforms, you know, way up into the roof. Anyway, I want to bring y'all back because I'm going to go ahead and claim this reward and see what we get for, do we have enough? No, we don't. I think I've already got the first batch that we did in a chest over here somewhere. Yeah, stuff's here. We'll just throw this stuff up here, make sure we leave the, did I even get the sapling that we needed out of the thing? Probably not, you know, because why would I do that? Where's the tigerwood sapling? No, I didn't get it. You know, I didn't get it. Yes, I did. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Dun, 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 dun. If it had been a snake, it would have bit me. Alright, let's take a look, because that was Skyform? No. Where was that? Ah, learning to skyblock. It's one of the last things we had left down here. We'll claim the reward. It's an essence berry bush, and we've got more XP right now than we can deal with because we don't have an efficient way to drain it right now. I think that's pretty much, except for going to the other dimensions, and we'll be looking at the deep dark soon enough. Matter of fact, probably, so next episode we want to start storage. Episode after that we may get our cyclic assemblers, I think they're called assemblers, cyclic, whatever they are, set up to start making compressed cobblestone, so we can get up to octuple to make bedrockium. Although I think for the deep dark, portal to the deep dark, portal to the deep dark, I think we only need triple and quadruple. Quintuple, quad and quint to get there. So, and when we start that, we'll probably go ahead and tear down our portal here and build a new one. We'll pick a pad, maybe the end out there. Maybe that end pad out there, which we've not done anything with yet. Anyway, guys, I wanted to bring y'all back so I didn't complete a quest without you. And I think we'll call it right here. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.